This event has many firsts. One of those firsts that you will now observe is, for the first time, a community worker is being given a Pravasi Bharati Divas award. This is Mr. Ashraf from the UAE, who has helped in the return of mortal remains of Indian nationals who unfortunately passed away there. He has ensured individually, he has no official status, he has no major support, but of his own individual volition, he's been working. So this is the first of that. But there are many other firsts. A first award for a community worker, a first in terms of just the grandeur of this event. This is an event which is unmatched in terms of scale, in terms of grandeur, and in terms of numbers who have participated. Yesterday, there have been people who have been asking me broad numbers. I can confirm to you that the figure stands around 4,000. This is the largest number who registered with us for such an event. Also, if you see in terms of participation, each of these lectures that were there was full. It was not only on the first day, but even yesterday and today, we had these 9 chief ministers who were speaking. It was very interesting to see. This was an aspect of cooperative federalism in India. You had 9 chief ministers speaking, but they were also very competitive in trying to project their states. So while there was an element of cooperative federalism, there were also an element of competition. In fact, one said that, I have opened windows for you. Another said, we have opened doors for you. A third said, I have opened computers for you. So we opened windows in the computer. And finally one said, I have opened my hearts for you. So you can see from windows to doors to cyber windows to hearts. But the theme was consistent. All of them from different states made one point. And that point was that we would want people of Indian origin to contribute, not contribution in terms of money. India is now a different place. We are not looking only for money. The hope is talented Indians can contribute to their motherland. And that was again something very new, because the focus of this Pravasi Bharati Divas is contribution, not only contribution in terms of monetary value, but contribution in terms of knowledge, contribution in terms of service. Finally, we had for the first time today 4 afternoon sessions. This is a first again. And those of you who think that the Gulf was not focused on or some other area was not focused on, I just attended this session on the Gulf, where more than 350 participants, largely for the Gulf, had an interactive session. There were no speeches. There were no statements made from the podium. It was all non-resident Indians largely, because in the Gulf, most of the people of Indian origin are non-resident Indians. They were asking specific requests, making pointed suggestions, and asking all our ambassadors there. The Minister of State for Overseas Indian Affairs, Mr. V.P. Singh, General V.K. Singh was there, plus they were leading philanthropists there. All of them were responding to those questions. This is the first time we've had this sort of an interactive discussion. Usually these are more structured, where statements are made and then where it ends. We also had for the first time, in other than English or Hindi, speeches being interaction in French, because there was another session devoted to the French diaspora. A third was for people of Indian origin who are not non-resident Indian, but who trace back their ancestry to India. These are from Fiji, from Mauritius, from Guyana. There was a special session for them. And finally, there was diaspora organizations. There are many people who are leading diaspora leaders from various countries and their sessions. So all these 4 sessions were a first. They were breakout sessions. So these 4,000 so people split up into different elements and then interacted in areas of their choice. They could choose Gulf, they could choose diaspora, they could choose associations, they could choose Francophone. This is the first. So if I may sum up, we are coming to the end of what was undeniably one of the best organized, one of the grandest, largest in scale, largest in number of speakers, and also one of the most interactive Pravasi Bharati Divasas. That's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer those questions. And these will be about the PBD. After that, I'll answer any other questions. So quick. We will have 4 questions on Pravasi Bharati, 2 on anything else, and then we end because there is another element there. Yes, ma'am. First question to you. Yes. Can you? Yeah. No. 4,000 participants. These includes largely overseas, but there are some newspapers, some organizations like, for example, NORCA. This is a Kerala state government organization dealing with overseas Keralites. So they registered. So if you all add, it's 4,000, largely from overseas, but of course there will be some departments, some states, some there are some newspapers and news organs in India which are catering to overseas Indians. So all these combined, I'm not talking, the registration does not count for media. It is other than those who are participants, 4,000, all focused on non-resident Indians, people of Indian origin, or overseas Indians in general. Yes. Yes, next question. 4. One finished, 2 more.
The ministry has mistaken to choose the subject for seminar because I've seen that in so many of seminars, chairs remain vacant for the time, for the entire seminar was over. So what do you think, what should be the reason behind that?
I think you went to the wrong sessions. Where I went to, there were no chairs vacant. As I said, if I will not...
So the session was also wrong?
Pardon? No, I don't know which session you went to, but let me try and explain. I just went to the Gulf session. Video camera is available, you can look at it. There were about 400 people. Ultimately, for example, the Chief Minister's session, I would wish that you were there. There were people which was full. The hall which takes, I understand, about 4,000 people was nearly full. But I would suggest you need to see these in a comparative manner. Have you visited other events of this sort previously? And I can repeat and say this was the largest, the most participative, and the grandest of Pravasi Bharati Divasas. Yes. Next question. Yes, ma'am. Look, this is a participative endeavor of different parts of the Government of India. Budgeting in Government of India as well as the Government of Gujarat is done differently because it was not one department or one ministry which handled. Because you have seen there are from every ministry across Government of India, different states as well as the state government of Gujarat which bore a large amount of the cost in terms of the infrastructure. But as I said, in today's India, more important is participation, less important is the monetary value of those things because this is intangible. The link that we have with overseas Indians is something much stronger than what money can buy. Yes, last question on this. Yes, sir. Uske baad I'll answer 2 other questions on everything.
ये जो तमाम सेशन आपने अटेंड किए जो मोस्टली कंसर्न क्या शो किए जो तमाम अप्रवासी आए हुए थे जो मोटे पर उभर कर सामने
देखिए, जैसे कि मैं अभी गल्फ सेशन में गया था, उसमें हर चीज़ जैसे कि बच्चों को कॉलेज की सुविधाएं, क्योंकि गल्फ में कॉलेज की व्यवस्था नहीं है. दूसरी बात, डेड बॉडीज के रिटर्न. तीसरी बात, जैसे कि इंडियंस इन जेल्स कि उनको कैसे स्पीड अप कर सकते हैं. चौथी बात, जो ऑर्डिनरी वर्कर्स हैं उनको लॉयर्स कैसे मदद कर सकते हैं. सो दीज आर कॉमन प्रॉब्लम्स डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रीजन दैट they come from. It depends from place to place, event to event. I cannot, because the Indian diaspora is so vast, you cannot try and make it into one shoe fits all. Each region is different, each region's requirements are different, and each region's needs are different. Therefore, we have to cater to all different varieties. Yes, last question. I think I finished all the questions.
अगले साल से कुछ स्टेट भी प्रवासी
जी,
दिवस मना
आप-
रहे हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश ने अनाउंस भी किया 4 और 5 जनवरी को अपना प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस मनाएंगे, तो भारत सरकार की तरफ से प्रोग्राम है।
देखिए, अभी तो ये अनाउंसमेंट हुआ, मैंने कहा है, इट हैज़, एटलीस्ट आप जैसे कह रहे हैं, इट हैज़ स्टिमुलेटेड अ स्पिरिट ऑफ कोऑपरेशन and a spirit of competition, and this is good for a country like ours because different people have different needs. If state governments start responding to that, it's very good. The Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs will take all these into account and work with them. This is not new. Other states have dedicated departments, dedicated ministries to this, and if Uttar Pradesh has, it is very good because it is one of our largest states in India with the largest population and a large number of Indians who hail from that state, who go out and who need assistance when they return. Okay, these questions are over. 2 more questions on anything else. Yes?
I want to ask on PBD.
Pardon?
I want to ask on PBD.
Okay.
Key feedback, key lessons learned so that the next PBD is better.
Well, there's always scope for improvement. There's always scope for learning. But you're asking me this even before the event is over. I think lesson number 1 that I learned is don't jump to conclusions. Therefore, please, we will be willing to answer these questions when the event is over, not while the event is on, because there may be something else to learn in the next hour or so. Yes, sir.
So what do you attribute these to become the grandest and largest PBD? Is it the presence of Modi or the hype created outside or whatever?
I do not know. There is all I can say is that there is great enthusiasm, there is great participation, there is great interest, and there is great way of organizing it. Why? Each one can have a view. You are a journalist. I dare not give my view to you. I try and give you the facts. You try and come to conclusions. Yes, sir.
सर, is it
Yeah.
प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस क्या वाइब्रेंट गुजरात का एक शेडो बन के रह गया? ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि वाइब्रेंट गुजरात की छांव में ये प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस मनाया गया?
देखिए, ये सवाल पहले भी पूछा गया था और मैंने इसका जवाब दिया है, लेकिन अगर आप फिर से पूछ रहे हैं तो मैं जवाब देने को तैयार हूं। एक तो देखिए, प्रवासी और ओवरसीज इंडियंस आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट इज द टारगेट ऑफ वाइब्रेंट गुजरात। कुछ लोगों का कहना है कि अच्छा, केरी वहां आ रहे हैं। अगर केरी प्रवासी होते तो वो यहां भी आते, दूसरे प्रवासी हैं जो आए हैं, बट दिस इज नॉट अ कॉम्पिटिशन. If Vibrant Gujarat does well, we as Indians should be proud of it, that we have a state which is able to attract attention globally. It is good for India. So we are not in the business of competition. We are in the business of cooperation, taking everybody together, and we wish Vibrant Gujarat all the success when it starts. Yes, sir.
Large number of prisoners in specifically in Gulf, Oman. So what is the process of transferring the prisoners in Indian jails? Is there any process? If yes, what is the dependency in this?
I do not have the numbers, but for example, with the UAE, we have a prisoner exchange system. What happens is we have a mechanism with several countries. I do not know exactly at what stage with which country it is, but let me tell you. Let me try and explain the generic position. India is working with various countries, including the Gulf, for what we call of sentenced prisoners can complete their sentence in the country of origin. So, for example, if there is an Indian who is sentenced in X country, if we have that agreement with that country, they will be transferred to India and they will complete their sentence in India. This is the process we've just started. Our High Commissioner, our ambassador in UAE was saying that this has now begun with UAE. We've already signed this agreement with Saudi Arabia. It's not yet been ratified. We are working on that. I do not know the details of every country, but we have this with about 20 countries. But our goal is to extend this to the extent possible. This is not going to take away that they will complete their prison term. but it will help in transferring them back to the country concerned, back to the state they hail from, and complete their sentence term in that state. No, one question, last question, yes.
Akbar, we have a new government, there's a new government in Sri Lanka. How do you look at the future of India-Sri Lanka relation, as the Prime Minister already congratulated the new president-elect?
You know, India and Sri Lanka are close neighbors. Sri Lanka has a tradition of democratic change, and we as their neighbor are proud of this tradition as a democracy. So this morning, when Sri Lanka voted for a change yesterday and the results started trickling out, our leadership was amongst the first to congratulate Sri Lanka about the conclusion of their democratic exercise. Prime Minister first called up the President-elect. Subsequently, he has also written a letter to the President-elect about the warm relations that exist between India and Sri Lanka. He has wished him success. He has assured him of India's cooperation, and he has also invited him to visit India at the earliest opportunity. And this is how, this is symbolic of our relationship with our close neighbor, Sri Lanka. Anyone else on anything else? Otherwise, I close. I do not have the details, but amongst the largest, you will be surprised, are from Malaysia. Thank you very much. With that, we come to the end of this interaction.